Hi, welcome back to my channel. And in case you're new here, I'm Joanna and I make weekly videos about organizing, motivation and lifestyle. Talking about lifestyle, the 10th of October is coming up very close, and it's a very special day because every year on the same day we're celebrating the world's mental health day. Every year on the same day, experts, professionals, knowledgeable people are trying to raise awareness about the issue of mental health, especially in today's world and this very unusual situation that we're facing, the virus COVID-19, a situation that forced many people into isolation, into uncertainty, not knowing what's going to happen, what the future is going to bring, or even worrying about their personal safety or that of their closest ones. This situation has caused many people to experience loneliness on a completely different level. I would love to point out that in no way am I considering myself an expert on this issue. I am not a professional. I do not have a medical background. So in that case, I cannot speak up for any facts or any information that I'm going to try to convey in this video, but I'm just trying to act out as a normal, regular person, trying to raise the awareness of mental health problems and hopefully help those who might be in need of it, of some support, or those who think that maybe they know someone who might be struggling with this issue and they just have no idea how to help them, help those people, support them. I do not have much experience or much knowledge about this topic, but I felt that it was really something very close to my heart. I felt like in honor to them and their struggle, as well as in honor of all the other people who might be struggling with a similar problem, similar issue, or even in support of those who are supporting other people struggling with this, I felt like this video would be a perfect way to kind of make people realize that it really is a big issue. Another thing that I wanted to really stress before we move on to the actual video is the fact that this topic is extremely broad and there's just so many things that need to be taken into consideration that we would not have enough time to really go into depth or to cover everything in so much detail, that we really need to make it as concise as possible and as straight to the point as possible. But if you feel like you need more information on the topic or that you yourself need help, I am going to provide down in the comments section some links that you might find useful in doing your further research or trying to find help for yourself or for your closest ones. Depression. It's a very serious mental illness that is affecting not only the person who is depressed, but also the people around the person, the closest ones, those we love, our friends, people we work with, anybody we meet on our way. People with that mental illness have a great impact on their surroundings, not only just for themselves. The thing with mental illnesses is that usually they don't go away by themselves. So there needs to be some kind of treatment or help given to those people to support them and treat them through that process. If there is no treatment or no help, no support given to those people, the illness is very likely to worsen, and in result this might lead to some very serious consequences, leading in death. I think a lot of us have an idea of what depression might be about. Usually our biggest problem is to distinguish between, oh, I'm just having a bad day, or am I depressed? So how can we really tell the difference, and when does depression really start? Well, we have to really understand that it is a lengthy process. There usually isn't a single situation that just boom leads to us being depressed and before that we were just a normal healthy healthy person. Some such situations could be a sudden death of a family or a very close person to us that might trigger depression, but usually it is a series of events that happen in a person's life that eventually lead to developing depression. And what I mean by this is that initially we start experiencing all those negative feelings, negative situations that are happening to us, and they start affecting us in a very serious way. Our self-esteem goes boom all the way down, and we start focusing, and I really mean it, focusing on very negative feelings, experiences connected with that situation. For a normal, healthy person, a negative situation would be, of course, still a very bad experience. Let's be serious about this. No one really likes when something bad happens. The difference is that healthy people in general are able to move on and kind of explain to themselves in a rational way that bad luck, I wasn't prepared, I need to work harder, and they are just able to pick themselves right up and move on. A person who is depressed is definitely going to be focused on that experience for a very long stretch of time. And even though they seem to be also experiencing the good moments, the happy moments, the relaxed moments, those are usually very short-lived, and such a person is not going to be able to focus and channel that positive energy into their life and kind of be able to move on. We have to remember that a depressed person is going to be a person, is still going to be experiencing those moments of happiness and moments of sadness. Those are the so-called mood swings. Something that will definitely be able to kind of distinguish between a healthy person and that of a depressed person is going to be the amount of good versus bad experiences. Person depressed is definitely going to be focusing on the negative side effects or side moments, side experiences that are happening to them, whereas the healthy person is going to have more or less the same amounts of experiences. They're good and they're bad, of course they happen, but as I had mentioned earlier, that person is still able to distinguish between them, derive the energy from the positive feelings, positive experiences, and channel them into the negative experiences, and such a person manages to push through. Connected with depression usually is a very low self-esteem. Over time, such a person is going to start feeling like they're not worth taking care of. No one is going to pay attention to them. No one finds them attractive, good, smart anymore. No one's appreciative of them anymore, and they stop taking care of themselves altogether. Usually another of side effects of depression is going to be the feeling of guilt over the littlest things. And almost anything can kind of trigger them into feeling down about a certain situation, when in a regular, normal situation we would just brush it off or not even think about it. The biggest problem with depression lies in this inability to ask for help. People with depression usually feel like they're incapable or unable to express their feelings. They cannot really find any reasonable, logical reason for why they're in this state, and they cannot formulate what kind of help they would really want from those around them. All of their demeanor is focused on pushing people away. It's as if they didn't want to be surrounded with people, even though at this fragile moment in their life they really need that support from their closest ones, their friends, their loved ones. But the way they behave is very negative, it's very bitter and full of resentment, and they seem to be pulling themselves away from situations, from relationships, and those who are in contact with people who fight depression find those people very unagreeable, and they just tend to leave them be, because after all, this is what a depressed person has asked specifically specifically for. They might have verbalized their fears and they might have mentioned that please leave me alone, and you feel like, well, I am just doing what the person told me to. I'm leaving them be. It's a very serious condition that should not be taken lightly. If you yourself or anyone that you know seems to be struggling with depression, of course you need to seek help. As I had mentioned, I am no expert. I am not a medical professional, so I cannot diagnose anyone over the internet. Those were just some basic common symptoms that you might be able to find. But if you feel like you might be depressed or you might be going through a rough patch in your life, then follow the links that I posted in the description down below. I urge you to seek help. With this mental health day approaching very soon, once again, I am just trying to raise awareness and hopefully help some of you along the way. But in case you are trying to help a person you know who is struggling with depression, one of the best tips that I can give you is to be extremely patient and extremely resilient. You need to remember that those people don't really mean those things that they say, that they might be really rude or not very pleasant towards you. They might be very pushy and they seem to be withdrawn, and it seems like they don't want to spend any time with you. This is the time that you need to really gear yourself up with loads and loads of patience and understanding for those people. Let them know that you are there for them whenever they need you. Of course, if they ask you to leave, give them the space they need, but then come back after a while. Ask them again. Maybe they have changed their mind and now they really want and they really need that contact. Other than that, get help, stay safe, and hopefully you've learned something from this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you very soon. Bye!